Welcome, dear listeners. Today we unravel a story that begins with an ordinary day and a routine car wash, but quickly spirals into a chilling discovery. Imagine finding something under your car that changes everything you thought you knew about your life. A hidden device, a mystery waiting to be solved, and a revelation that leaves one man questioning everything. Stay with us as we follow Ryan's journey into the unknown, where every clue takes him closer to the truth, and what he uncovers will leave you speechless. Man finds tracker under his car. When he finds out who is tracking him, he turns pale. After a routine car wash, a chilling discovery was made. Tucked beneath his vehicle, a man uncovers a covert tracking device, but the shock doesn't end there. As he delves into its origins, the identity of the person monitoring his every move pushes him to immediately dial 911. Ryan had heard something fall out of the wheel well on his car, and he was now staring at the object on the ground. As he picked it up, he couldn't believe his eyes. Somebody had actually put a tracker in his car. He couldn't think of a reason why anybody would do such a thing, so he decided to investigate. He thought of a plan to find this stalker, and with each new clue that he discovered about this person, he felt that he was getting closer to uncovering their identity. It wouldn't be long before he finally found out who had put this tracker in his car and why. When he finally realized who had been following his location, he turned pale. He would never have thought something like this would happen to him, but here he was and hoped the police would arrive in time. When Ryan woke up one beautiful morning, he decided to wash his car. The weather was perfect for it, and he didn't have anything else planned for the day anyway. After breakfast, he drove his car out of the garage and got everything ready. Ryan enjoyed washing his car. It was like a form of meditation for him. It was usually a great way to unwind, but on that particular day, it would bring him a lot more stress than he ever imagined. He cleaned every part of the car until it was so clean you could eat off it. After a little more than an hour, he was almost done cleaning the outer part. He only needed to do the tires and then he'd move on to the interior. However, this was when he found something shocking. He was cleaning the rims, carefully brushing all the dirt away and soaping them up. Once that part was done, he took the garden hose and washed it all off. While washing the tires, he noticed something had fallen out of the wheel well. It was white and round, and at first glance, he thought it was a little rock. However, when he crouched down and picked it up, taking a better look at it, there was no doubt about it. It was a tracker. He couldn't believe that he had found this under his car, but he was holding the evidence in his hands. He couldn't help but wonder who would put it there and why, and also when. He always parked the car in the garage. Ryan stared at this tiny device in his hand and suddenly felt a bit paranoid. He looked around, trying to see if he could spot anybody acting suspiciously, but there was nobody even near him. He knew that he wouldn't be able to rest until he figured out who had done this and why. He needed to come up with a plan. He quickly finished up, cleaned up all his equipment, and went inside the house to show the tracking device to his wife. "Come here, you need to see this," he exclaimed as he walked through the back door. His wife entered the kitchen, looking curiously at him. Stretching his hand out to her with the tracker in his palm, she closely inspected the object but didn't seem to realize what it was. "Okay, but what is this thing?" When Ryan explained to her what he thought it was, she turned pale. "Why would someone do that? How is this possible? This has to be illegal," she panicked. He sat down and closely inspected the tracker, hoping to find some answers. He hoped that the tracker would contain a hint or detail that would tell him who it belonged to, but he could find absolutely nothing that pointed him in any direction whatsoever. Ryan could only think of one way to find answers, but that could get dangerous. He decided to try the safer way first, going to the police. Ryan put on his jacket and drove off to the police station, the tracker in his pocket. The entire drive there, he kept checking his mirrors, looking to see if anybody was following him. He saw a car in the distance far behind him and realized that he had already seen it a couple of times during his drive to the station. The car had kept its distance, but it didn't lose track of him. Ryan could think of only one explanation for how that was possible. He slowed down and looked in his rearview mirror once again, waiting for the car to come closer so he could see it better. It was nowhere to be seen. The driver must have noticed that he was on to them. He was disappointed that he hadn't been able to see its license plate, but he had a feeling that whoever it was, they wouldn't leave him alone just yet. Not much later, he arrived at the police station and asked the receptionist to speak to an officer. He was told to sit and wait, and someone would come get him soon. He sat down on one of the chairs and waited, his mind racing with questions. He hoped they would be able to help him. Suddenly, a man stood in front of him and held out his hand to greet him, saying, "Good day, my name is Officer Roberts. How can I help you today?" The officer led him to his office and shut the door behind him so they could talk in privacy. He started by asking Ryan some questions about when and where he found the tracker, and whether he had noticed anybody following him lately. Ryan answered every question in as much detail as he could, and really got his hopes up about the police helping him find whoever did this. When the officer was done asking questions, he told Ryan, "I have to discuss this with a colleague. I'll be right back." Ryan nodded, and a moment later, he was sitting alone in the office. He hoped that his stalker was still looking at his location, and that whoever it was would see that he was at the police station right now. This might scare them away. When the officer returned, he had bad news for Ryan. There was no way they could find a name, address, or anything that would lead them to the stalker. Ryan realized that he was left on his own, and that was fine. He would do whatever he needed to take care of it. He thanked the officer for his time and shook his hand before he walked out the door. He knew exactly what he was going to have to do now if he wanted to find the stalker, and it could be very dangerous. On his way home, he decided that he wasn't going to tell Anna about this. She would be way too worried, and even though she deserved to know, he thought it was better to keep this from her. When he arrived, he parked his car in the garage again, as always. Ryan entered the house, his heart still racing from the shocking discovery of the tracker. He found Anna in the living room, her face etched with worry. She couldn't hide her concern, and the first thing she asked was about what the police said. Ryan took a deep breath and reassured her. "The police couldn't find out who did this, but don't worry, Anna. I'm going to figure it out. We'll get to the bottom of this together." Days passed, and Ryan couldn't shake off the feeling of being watched. Every car that lingered behind him on the road sent shivers down his spine. The paranoia grew stronger, and he began to doubt the intentions of every passerby. The constant surveillance weighed heavily on his mind, making each day more challenging. Determined to uncover the truth, Ryan decided to seek help outside the realm of traditional methods. He knew he had to contact a hacker who could unravel the mystery behind the tracker. After some research, he connected with a skilled hacker named Sam, a tech-savvy individual with a penchant for digging into digital mysteries. With a flicker of hope, Ryan shared the tracker details and explained his situation. Sam assured him they would uncover the identity of the stalker. Sam delved into the digital labyrinth, retracing the tracker's steps. The virtual journey took them through various locations: Ryan's home, workplace, and familiar destinations. Unfortunately, the digital trail led to nothing extraordinary, leaving Ryan frustrated and puzzled. The tracker had been discreet, leaving no hints behind. As days turned into weeks, the disappointment of the lack of clues gnawed at Ryan's determination. Sam's efforts in tracing the tracker's digital trail had yielded nothing substantial. Each dead end in their search made Ryan's anxiety grow stronger, and he wondered if they'd ever find answers. Hope rekindled when, after countless hours of investigation, Sam stumbled upon a faint lead. The tracker had been bought from a specific shop. Ryan and Sam couldn't believe their luck. With the shop's address in hand, Ryan decided to pay a visit, hoping to find someone who could shed light on the situation. Anna was worried but understood the necessity of this step. Together, they entered the small electronics store, a sense of trepidation hanging in the air. Ryan approached an employee behind the counter and explained the bizarre situation. The employee, after listening carefully, agreed to check their records for any relevant information. What he discovered left Ryan and Anna utterly shocked. The employee handed over a receipt, and as Ryan examined it, his heart sank. The purchase had been made by none other than Anna herself. It was her signature on the receipt, and her intentions became clear. All the pieces of the puzzling situation started falling into place, and the truth, though painful, was undeniable. Ryan couldn't believe what he had just learned. Anna, his own wife, had placed the tracker under his car. However, he knew that he needed to confront her and get to the bottom of why she had taken such an extreme step. He spent hours preparing himself emotionally for the difficult conversation that awaited. After leaving the tracker shop, Ryan and Anna headed back home, the atmosphere in the car heavy with unspoken tension. Ryan's mind was racing, and Anna's guilt was palpable. They both knew that their relationship was on the brink, and they had to find a way to address the situation honestly. As they entered their home, Ryan could feel the weight of the impending confrontation looming over them. In the quiet living room, the truth began to unravel. Anna tearfully admitted that she had placed the tracker under the car because she suspected Ryan of infidelity. The revelation was painful for both of them. Ryan, hurt by Anna's lack of trust, listened to her explanation. As Anna poured out her fears and insecurities, Ryan realized the extent of her anxiety and how it had led to this disturbing behavior. He understood that her actions stemmed from a place of fear and not malice. However, the breach of trust had inflicted deep wounds in their relationship, leaving them with the daunting task of rebuilding what had been shattered. Ryan couldn't shake off the feeling that there was more to the story than what Anna had revealed. He decided to confront her about her strange actions over the past few months. The unease in their home continued to grow. Ryan's growing suspicion led him to investigate further. He decided to discreetly look into Anna's phone records, hoping to find clues about her secret conversations and the extent of her mistrust. The phone records yielded unsettling discoveries. Ryan found evidence of Anna's secret conversations with a friend, sharing her fears and insecurities about their relationship. The messages revealed the depth of Anna's anxiety and her struggle to trust him completely. As Ryan gathered more evidence, he began to piece together the timeline of events that had led to this point. It became evident that Anna's anxiety had escalated over time, driving her to take drastic measures. With each revelation, Ryan's heart ached for the woman he loved, but he knew that they needed to confront these issues head-on if they were to salvage their relationship. The more Ryan delved into Anna's phone records and the messages she had exchanged with her friend, the more his doubts deepened about Anna's intentions. He struggled to reconcile the woman he had known and loved with the one who had resorted to secretly tracking him. Amidst the messages, a chilling revelation emerged. Anna had contemplated hiring a private investigator to follow Ryan, fueled by her relentless fears of infidelity. Ryan's heart sank as he read her words, realizing the depth of her paranoia. As the day of the confrontation neared, Ryan and Anna found themselves emotionally preparing for what would undoubtedly be a shocking and life-altering conversation. They knew that their relationship hung in the balance, and they needed to confront their issues head-on to find a way forward. The day finally arrived, and the tension in the air was palpable. As Ryan and Anna sat down to talk, the conversation was fraught with emotions. They bared their souls, expressing their fears, regrets, and hopes. It was a defining moment in their relationship, and the weight of their words hung heavily between them. Anna broke down in tears. She confessed the depths of her insecurity. Her admission was a painful revelation, and it left both of them emotionally raw. Ryan, torn between anger and empathy, realized that their path to healing would be a long and challenging one. Through tears and heartfelt words, Anna explained her crippling fear of losing Ryan. She apologized profusely for her actions, acknowledging that they had breached trust in their relationship. She expressed her deep love for him and her commitment to making amends. the conversation shifted toward the path to reconciliation. Both Ryan and Anna recognized that rebuilding their trust and repairing their relationship would be a challenging journey. They discussed the steps they needed to take together, including open communication, therapy, and a commitment to rebuilding what had been broken. Anna was determined to make amends and rebuild the trust she had shattered. She pledged to be transparent, to address her fears in healthier ways, and she hoped that over time they could rekindle the love and trust that had initially brought them together. While Ryan appreciated Anna's efforts, he grappled with his internal conflict. The wounds of betrayal ran deep, and he knew that he needed to find a way to overcome his own doubts and fears if their relationship was to survive. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you never miss another unbelievable tale like this one.